Still haven't actually figured out what this cable goes to. Alright, if I can finger tighten these guys in there. Okay, starter's on. We're going to try that out real quick. But I also wanted to point out that I found an air filter that does fit on the back of this. So I'll put a link to this. This guy here doesn't quite line up. You see I have one screw in, not two. But if you look closely, I am able to seal up the air gap and ultimately use this adapter to fit on. And now I finally close this thing up so we don't just pull sand in there or moisture in the wintertime. So fantastic. However, I've done that. I've also got a new carburetor I'm going to put on here. So I'm going to do that because I've found that I feels like over driving the carburetor, like it's running out of fuel and it stalls out like you saw in some of the previous videos. So I'm going to swap that out now. Then we'll start it and we're going to see what it can do. And I'll put a link to both of these down in the description. All right, new carburetor. Should be a match. Think I can hook this all up. We're gonna try. It's pretty darn close. Frankly, I could probably pinch this a hair and it'll grab, but that would deform it, then I'd probably leak some air somewhere else. So we're just going to bolt it on like the other one. I'm also curious to know what size jet is in here, so I'm going to take off the drain plug. And on these carbs, drain plug is also that jet, holds the bowl together. Of course, there's no marking on here, no idea what jet it is. Of course, when I pull that, fuel's going to go everywhere, so we'll wait to do that for a moment. As predicted, here comes the fuel. So we're going to try and get this off and plugged nice and quick. There's my version of plugged. So there is a little bit of a gasket on this guy. See if my new carb has a gasket. Something else that's interesting. You see this here. It's a small chamber heading down in. It's not fully wide open coming off the carb down to the motor side here. It actually appears to be fairly restricted. Of course. Now that I've tucked my fuel line in the way. Probably actually going to put this in the smaller hole. Run my spring out here maybe. That looks pretty good. So now I'll put the spring in the big one, and it can pull back that way. And I'll put my throttle out here where it has the opportunity to push. We'll see how that works. Alright, that's a much smoother actuation now. I'm going to grab a zip tie and we're going to hook this back up and see if this looks like it'll work. So throttle activates. Yeah, I think that'll do. I have a new carburetor on here. We have an air filter on here. I've got a starter on here. And I can never remember which way is actually choke on or choke off. So I gotta open this up real quick and remember. It's probably always standard, but I don't know. Alright, so that's choke off. That's choke fully on. I need a Sharpie. I gotta write on there something. Off, on. I guess if I wrote O, it would be the same for off and on. We're just going to remember. I'm on choke right now. I am going to put the back end up on blocks when I start this up because I don't know what the idle's set to here, and this one has a tendency to take off. So, and I'm going to plug this in. And let's see. Yeah, we'll see. That should be enough. What did I say? Choke off, choke on, kill switch is on. 1, 2, 3. This is the part where I find out I actually put the gear on the wrong starter. There we go. Well, right now she doesn't want to run with the choke off. There does look to be a fuel-air mixture screw down underneath here, so I'm going to take a look at the setting on the old one, compare it to what's on here. Yeah, so there's an air-fuel mixture screw there, and let's see where this is here. So there's a... Oh, it's stiff. Well, it's either stiff or it's all the way in. Half, one out, half, one in. Fuel air was all the way in on this. So this thing was as rich as it could get. Huh. Can I do this without burning my fingers? Also all the way in. Half. I'm turning this one out 1. The old one was running all the way in, which is rich as heck. And then the choke was running on, which richened it up even more, which makes it as if there's a big air leak somewhere, but I don't think there's a big air leak anywhere. Let's give this another try. So I really didn't even get a chance to find out if I was going to overdrive the car, because as soon as I took a left-hand turn, the front wheel came off. Easy fix. I hadn't, I'd only tacked my welds in. I didn't finish the weld when I made the wider front end. So it was a matter of time before that happened. Notice my nice bolt still on there. Yep. I did. I only tacked the weld. So there it goes. Weld goes. So carry it over. We'll do a real weld this time and get back to trying. Can you imagine if this had happened if I was out down the road? Oh, never mind CrossFit. We're going to call this cross-cart fit. So here's where I paid for that mistake. I still have some of my my tack welds on there, which means I can't just pull this right out. I gotta see if I can get a grip on the other side here so I can actually loosen my nut. And this one I did lock tight. Tell you what, that Loctite does a good job. The other thing we get to see, after a week of riding, you can see where the rubbing is, but this gives me an opportunity to get some good grease back in here, so we'll do that too. Alright. Nothing like some nighttime welding in Vermont here. This red stuff is so important. Stronger than my welds. Alright, well I think before I lose the light, I'll park it there. I will re-tack, well I won't tack, I'll finish welding the other wheel because I hadn't done that. And we'll leave it there for tonight. Air filter's on, starter's on, which is pretty cool. New carb is on, and we'll give it a romp. I do also have to do something about chain tightening. I'm as tight as I can go, and I have popped the chain off a few times, so I'm gonna have to drill some holes so I can slip that a little bit more, but that's for another day. So for now, I'm gonna park it.